What up, people? This is Vigilante for 2 minutes and some change. That's 2.M.A.S.C. Then you know it's me, the original 2 minutes and some change. Check it out. I had a conversation with Dr. Samori Swagger the other day about the laws that was passed in Kansas. The gun laws, where, you're able to carry a gun on campus. It seemed like to me, before I get to the interview, it seems like to me, somebody's trying to push an agenda, and Dr. Samori is going to break down some of the things when it comes to the laws that we're missing and what are they trying to do. Are we trying to push some type of martial law, have some type of purge? Because when you throw fuel to the fire, something's going to burn. And I think with this law, I think they're asking for trouble. And who wants to have something disastrous happen before you say maybe we should rethink that law? So that's what we're going to get into. Still working on the audio thing, man. This is new to me. iHeartRadio, a great platform. So I got to get my stuff together. So, but it's still, you can hear us. It was a pretty good conversation, and I think that you would like this. So let's get into the higher learning effect. That's what we're calling this particular piece and discussion that me and Dr. Samari talked about. Because you know about the movie Higher Learning, you will understand about what we're about to talk about. So let's get into it right now. What up, people? What up, people? This is Vigilante for 2 minutes and some change, extended version. I got Dr. Samari Swagger. What's up, bro?
What's going good, brother? How you feeling?
I'm chilling, man. Chilling in Kansas City, man. I got the sweatshirt on because it's cold, man. It's air conditioned work. You remember last summer? It wasn't like this, bro.
Yeah.
I was David Banner in the Hulk. You're in my bag. Doom, 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 doom. Nah.
Yeah, man. I feel you, man. I need to get my AC.
As you say, man, we're going to call this what you said before, the higher learning effect. Remember the movie Higher Learning?
Yeah.
New law that was passed in Kansas City, in Kansas, where you're able to carry your arm on campus. It started July 1st, man. And I think that somebody's trying to push some type of agenda. The agenda, I don't know what it is, but it don't seem right that we all of a sudden feel the need to put, guns on the campus. What you say?
Yeah, we had spoke earlier about this, and it kind of came to me as we were talking that I think there is an agenda. When you think of the gun lobby, you think of the NRA and how powerful an influence it has on legislative policy. I would, I have on my New York City conspiracy theory hat, so I'm wearing my conspiracy theory hat right now. But I would say that the agenda, well, two things that we're probably looking at is one, the push for the proliferation of gun sales that's targeted to a new demographic of customers. And then the prison pipeline. Like I was saying before, if you have, let's say you just have like a, small college or medium-sized college, say you got like 5,000 students on a college campus. Before, we never really had a situation we had like guns, firearms on campus. When you think of your 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old students, they represent a new demographic of customers. You may have some that let's say their father or their parents are big gun enthusiasts and, they may have guns around the house. So as soon as they turn legal age, they may get them a firearm. But for the most part, it's kind of like, we're not going to really have firearms like that. But now what this does is once Joey is in a classroom and Clyde is sitting to the right of him and Walter is sitting to the left of him, Natalie's in the back of him, and Johnny's in front of him, and they all are strapped. Well, he's thinking like, oh, you know what? Well, I need to get a gun now because I'm surrounded by people that have firearms or probably have firearms, and I don't want to be the one that is outgunned if something goes wrong in the classroom. So now where you have 5,000 students on a campus that were probably never really armed before. Now you got 5,000 students that will be gun owners and gun carriers at an early age. So it expedites the sale of firearms. So you think of like a lot of these gun manufacturers, a lot of gun sellers, and all that. So you think of your Remingtons, you think of your Taurus, you think of your Rugers, your Smith & Wessons, all of that type of stuff. So they make money. That's another early demographic of customers that normally probably wouldn't have firearms. Now, the other thing that I said is the school to prison pipeline. Now you have to think of this will fuel the school to prison pipeline because of the fact that now if everybody in classroom has a gun, right? Mm-hmm. And let's say the teacher's engaging in a lecture. Let's say the teacher gets into a debate with a student, which happens frequently. You know, the student may decide to debate or test the teacher. Sometimes that situation gets kind of testy. We've all been there as students. We've seen, you know, another student go at it with a teacher. But people's emotions are very fragile. You know, people have very fragile egos. And the teacher could be like, look, you know what? I feel like you're threatening me. Yep. If the conversation gets a little elevated, while the student has a firearm on them, they could probably consider that a threat. And so then you think about, like, you know, a lot of young black males, you put them in that situation. The laws are, they're not equitable when it comes to application with us. And so easily it could be the teacher, well, the way Tyrone said such and such and such, and the way he was behaving, and, you know, he has that 9mm on his hip or in his holster or in his gym bag, you know, this was a threat. Boom. Let's put that on his criminal record right there. Threatening a teacher with a firearm. So that will fuel the school to prison pipeline.
Yeah. And it's ridiculous. I don't think that in a place of education, of learning, we have seen Caliban, we have seen Sandy Hooks, we've seen Virginia Tech. And a lot of people are worried about, and then you got the stereotype stuff. We watched Philando, didn't have a couple seconds, boom, 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 he's gone.
Right.
With no regard of the people that was in the car. Mm-hmm. And as you said earlier, the officer that was on the other side, exactly. No regards. He just shot. And if you already think that black men are dangerous, and you now here's more extra incentive, where's the training gonna come from? I understand that if I'm showing you my weapon, do that cost my life? You see what I'm saying? Or like you said, the kid, I've seen kids go off, kick doors, if their transcript ain't right. Or if somebody is bullying them. That's the other part we ain't thinking about. If they're getting bullied, then what? I'll let you talk on that. If they get bullied and they fed up.
Man, that right there is key. It's important. And especially in the age of cyberbullying now, you know, people are you're seeing even adults, it's not just young people, you have adults getting into the cyberbullying. You know, they're on a social media platform, whether it be Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, and somebody says something another person doesn't like. We haven't learned conflict resolution skills. We don't know how to mediate our emotions or our anger and frustration. And then, you know, when I get to the classroom, after I've already bullied you or having this argument online or just bullying in general, I come to the classroom, I come to, you know, chemistry 101, and you're sitting behind me and I got that heat on me and I'm still pissed off. It's no telling, you know, there's no filter. I mean, that can turn into an instant Wild Wild West scene. As I was saying before, like, you know, it's like, you know, Wild Bill Hickok, Billy the Kid in a saloon now. You know, everybody will have a gun, everybody will have a firearm, they'll have access to it, and they will pull it whenever they feel, and they're not thinking about the consequences, repercussions, or implications that will come later. So, yes.
And the irony is we're in Kansas, Dodge City.
True indeed. Right.
So, I guess, man, after we talk about not just this issue, and you look at how the movie Higher Learning went down, the one kid was Michael Rappaport or whatever his name is.
Michael Rappaport.
His character couldn't fit in. He tried to fit in with the blacks. He couldn't fit in. Then he got with some people that had an agenda. Now, we're quick to say the agenda about people getting into gangs, but groups like that too can have some cause of effect of a weak-minded person. So not that you didn't already have the threat of somebody bringing a gun on campus, but now it becomes more comfortable because the people who gonna pack heat gonna pack it anyway. You're sneaking on there anyway. But now you're giving the average Joe the same type of rights that, like you said, would have probably hesitated bringing a gun with them, ain't thinking about a gun, thinking about their education. But it's funny how they use the word victimhood. Mm-hmm. Blacks are talking about things that have happened to them, then they say we're, using them, trying to be a victim. Right. But yet how they promote the gun thing is, hey, you need to protect yourself because if somebody's in there with a gun and you had a chance to shoot back, it might can save a lot of lives. See, they control the narrative whenever they want to use it.
Right.
Speak on that.
Yeah, very true. So that once again, that goes back to gun sales. Most of these policymakers, legislators, people that are involved, like you have like ALEC, the American Legislative Exchange Council, all these people are politicians, are financed and subsidized by a lot of these lobbyists that will, sling little benefits and whatnot, little trinkets of benefits to them if they push their agenda. And their whole agenda is gun sales, Yeah. But then a lot of times you hear a lot of them disguise this rhetoric behind the right to carry firearms, constitutional amendments. And I'm not against the right to bear arms, but we have to be reasonable and responsible when we talk about certain situations, and these are one of those situations. And it's just crazy. Like this. It really should not be. This is just a very irresponsible legislation that was just passed on July 1st, man.
Yeah, and it's like I say, people have been fighting it. We had some of the congressmen and senators that was at the school, and the students voiced their opinion. And what was crazy is these guys didn't talk to none of the administrators to say, hey, how your school is. You can't tell me, in a sense, we basically telling you how to run your household. You don't know nothing about your household. We saying, well, you should be able to. Then the private schools don't have to go by that, but the public schools do. And I just think that this is some bigger agenda that we're going to find out. And I hope that we don't have to take bodies, because a lot of times people do stupid rules like this, and then people get killed behind it, or it gets crazy. Then they go, well, we're going to change it. But tell that to the person that lost their kid or lost their wife, lost their husband, niece, whatever, to this. Now you want to change it back when you shouldn't have put it there in the first place.
Right.
You have to stop experimenting with people and people's lives.
You can always change the law, but you can't change a life. That's real.
You can't change a life. I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah. Real quick, to even just to co-sign on what you were saying earlier about the higher learning, with Michael Rappaport's character Remy, you see that he was influenced by a lot of these hate groups, and so you see the rise of a lot of these hate groups, the neo-Nazis, the skinheads, KKK, and things like that. When you think of how influential that some young people can be, like you think about like the Dylan Roof, who influenced Dylan Roof's decision to do what he did. The church was not an educational institution, but it is still a cultural or social institution. The school is an institution. So what's to stop something like that from happening? We already saw that in several cases. So that's one thing. The other thing is, look, the way they're operating and getting these laws passed, that is not emblematic of a democracy. Matter of fact, those are signs and symptoms of an authoritarian regime where the people, the populace, they are treated like denizens of society and they have no input. They are treated as if they're not stakeholders in the policies that are being implemented and applied across the social strata, period. So, that right there, this is where we actually have to speak up as citizens, really use that freedom of speech and hold these elected officials accountable. We elected you. Your duty your fiduciary responsibility is to the people, not to these corporate lobbyists. Mm-hmm. Corporate lobbyists didn't elect you. We put the ballot in. So, this is where we got to kind of hold them accountable. I know we didn't want to get long, but there was just some notes that I wanted to.
Go ahead, let's go.
Because I know earlier you mentioned, you spoke about Virginia Tech. So that is an example. You spoke about Columbine. That was an example. I always go back to, you were saying before, they had you said it was Oklahoma, where they had that, the racist fraternity chant, the SAE chant, where they said there'll never be an N-word in SAE. Mm-hmm. So you have the racial tension that's exploding on campus. We saw in the University of Maryland at College Park, where you had this white student who was a member of this online group on Facebook called the Alt-Reich, R-E-I-C-H, which is reminiscent and attributed to the Reich, like the Third Reich Nazi stance. Yep. He stabbed a young African-American Bowie State student that was visiting friends on the campus, just random. They were walking down the street. He runs up to him, tells him he needs to move to the side, stabs him right in the chest and kills him. So you have this type of stuff. We've seen the death of Kendrick Johnson in Valdosta, Georgia, where they found his body rolled up inside of a gym mat. So maybe it won't be a gym mat next time. Maybe it'll actually be just somebody getting shot right inside of the classroom in their desk or in the locker room. People coming from the gym, playing basketball, get smoked right inside the locker room. So, you have these type of things. And the other thing that we have to talk about is the fact that we're dealing with a drug culture. And when I say a drug culture in society, not just illicit drugs, we're talking about marijuana, speed, ecstasy, Molly, bath salts, K2 spice, and things like that. But you also have medication that is legal through prescription. So you have your Prozac, you have your Paxil, you have your Ritalin, you have all your methamphetamines that a lot of children have been on since younger years in elementary school because of ADD and ADHD. They have been on that all the way through elementary to junior high to high school into college. So now you have these people that are on this medication. Some of the stuff affects mood swings and all of that. And now they will also have a firearm on them. There's no telling how you will react once you have that alternative option to a dispute or a conflict. See, the thing is, oftentimes we get into these conflicts and things like that, and I don't have that alternative option. I may not have a gun with me. So either I will keep arguing with you, I will have a fist fight with you, or I'll walk away. Now I have another option. I don't have to walk away. I can blow you away.
Exactly.
And so, these type of things we had to be cognizant of. And lastly, we have to think about how law enforcement will engage the students that are on campus. Like I said, in South Carolina, we have that video of the teenage girl that was having that disagreement debate with the teacher they called the police. And the police officer, I guess he was he was a police officer, but it was a specific title that they have for officers that work for the school. Yeah. He came in, slung her around under the desk, slammed on the ground, threw her across the room. So now how will police engage college students when if there's a dispute, they're called to the classroom, but they know that there are students in there that are carrying guns, and maybe even the student that they're coming to calm down has a gun. What will happen? Like you said, Philando, when he saw or heard that when Philando acknowledged that he has a permit and had a gun, in 5 seconds, he was shot dead. So if a student has a gun and they're in a classroom, what will be these officers' reaction? How will they engage them?
It's going to be interesting. You're 100% right. Don't know. It's going to definitely take a lot of training. And my thing is, people's life are precious, man. Can't nobody be expendable. It's not a video game where you can reset and try it again, man. This agenda, I think we're slowly, not slowly, it's probably been going on constantly, but we're losing the illusion of having a country that has some type of morality towards it. And I think that we're pushing certain narratives to, I don't know, have a civil war, anarchy, whatever. It's just lately it ain't right, man. And the more you look at people selling out their people, selling out the country, man, we in for hey, get your seatbelt, bro.
They're pushing the purge.
Huh?
They're pushing the purge.
They're pushing it. Mm-hmm. I guess that's why we see the movie first. Right. You know, they say art imitate life, but look like life is imitating art.
Yes.
And it's crazy, man. Let people know where they can find you at, Doc.
Oh, sure, certainly. Radio show every Wednesdays, 8 p.m. It's called The Pendulum. It's www.blogtalkradio.com/source radio. Twitter, they can find me at DocSwag06, DocSwagg06. They can go to Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, CD Baby, and type in my name. They already see it on the screen, and they'll see my audiobook, and they'll see my jazz and poetry album. And you can just go to YouTube or Google and just type in my name as you see it, and you'll get some good audio commentary and articles that I've put forth.
No doubt, man. Also a dope album, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Yeah. And you also have a dope album too. Well, dope albums, your discography.
Yeah, I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it, man. We're gonna get back together and do some other things, man. This has been 2 minutes and some change. Overtime, make sure you check me out on demand, iHeart Radio on demand. That means you have to demand me. That means you have to look me up. They try to give me a trial basis, but I take what I can get right now.
Yeah, man.
And we are out.
That was a great interview with Dr. Samori Swagger, man. Y'all gonna hear him some more on the show. Plenty of times he's gonna be chiming in. The brother he got it together when it comes to analyzing things, talk where he better be. His equipment a little bit better than me. I gotta step my equipment game up. He sounded better, but he got that radio voice anyway. You know how that goes. But hey, 2 minutes and some change. Make sure y'all look me up on iHeartRadio. It's 2.M.A.S.C. Then you know it's me, and it's just write down the number 2 minutes and some change, and you should find me on iHeartRadio. Make sure if you want to advertise or you need something to promote your shows and things like that, hit me up, man. We can talk out something. We can do some things. Let's get it, y'all. Support black business. We are the movement, and we are out.